Welcome to another exciting edition of P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Abel Sunday, and today all eyes are on Spain as we gear up for the first El Clásico under Xavi Alonso's reign as Real Madrid's manager. Is a huge moment, a new chapter in one of football's biggest rivalries. Barcelona, who beat Madrid 4 times last season, will be looking to maintain their dominance, while Alonso's Madrid will be out to make a bold statement and reclaim bragging rights. Joining me to break it all down is our in-studio analyst, Christian Osagede, and joining us virtually from Lagos, our regular voice of Inside, Walter Odige. Grab your teacup because P&B Sports start now. It's the P&B Sport right here in the nation's capital. And I've been joined with Christian Osagede. Christian, it's good to see you again.
Yes.
I think this time that you are on vacation in Abuja, we'll have to hold you with our both hands. So even on Monday, we're going to drag you to the stadium again.
And I'm always
so you promised them, you're coming to the stadium on Monday.
Of course. I'm always happy to be here.
My producer is hearing you. You know he can come.
Exactly.
And of course, we'll have Walter Odige, our ever reliable sport analyst, all the way from Lagos. Walter, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing very well this morning. Nice being on the show as usual, and let's talk about football.
Walter, I want to say this on air. It's not that I'm trying to flatter you. Honestly, we don't take your time for granted. We know you're a very busy person, but we want to thank you so much for always giving us that on-point analysis on P&B Sports Show.
Thank you.
Okay, let's dive into the conversation. First, El Clásico for Xabi Alonso, and I think this will be a mouth-watering fixture for on how they call it. Is it on Sunday? But let me start with Walter before I come back to you in the studio, Mr. Chris. Walter, how do you see this? How do you think it's going quickly, because we don't have time? We'll have few time to try and analyze this. How do you see this pan out? Do you see Alonso coming out on top, or do you see Hansi Flick still doing his magic and make sure that he goes 5 straight wins against Barcelona? Against Real Madrid.
Okay. I was speaking to a friend who happens to be a Real Madrid fan on yesterday, because as a result of their game against Juventus, I was telling him how lucky they were, like which luck that day, which chances and all of that. Then I told him that his second test of Alonso's test exam, that he first did test against Atletico Madrid, and he failed the test woefully against Atletico Madrid. And I said his exam is on Sunday. So I don't know what to expect from Real Madrid, but I just want to believe that they will be able to, come up with a result, probably a draw or even a win, because of Barca themselves, their current predicament. They are not in the form of their life. Yes, they might have beaten Olympiacos 6-1, but this Barca side currently, is there for the taking. We saw what the PSG and Sevilla did to them, so they are there for the taking. But I really have not been impressed with Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid. So I just think that game is a perfect game for Alonso, to come out and show the world of football that, okay, you know what, there's been a massive improvement from that Real Madrid side that lost all 4 Clásico last season. We can now beat Madrid, or we can now draw against. We can now beat Barca, or we can now draw against Barca. But I know it's going to be very, very, very difficult. But yes, Barcelona are going to be missing Rafinha and Lewandowski, who I think are 2 key players. So for me, it's going to be an exam for for Xabi Alonso, and one that I hope he passes, because if he fails the exam on Sunday, trust me, no matter what the result is going to get from now to the next El Clásico, Real Madrid fans would not be satisfied, because that would be him losing to both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. That is not acceptable as a Real Madrid supporter, because that was also the problem they had last season.
Okay, but what said Walter? Let me come back to the studio. Chris, when we say the Los Blancos, they have Kylian Mbappe, they have Vinicius Junior, and they have Bellingham. With this combination of players, one shouldn't be arguing or struggling with. I don't know. Let me get your own thought.
Okay, for me, it's a very simple thing. I don't know whether you heard what Rashford said on X. Rashford categorically said on X that he came to Spain because of the El Clásico. That was what Rashford said. That he didn't come to Spain just because he wanted to just play normal football. He came to Spain because of El Clásico. And there's no way that the El Clásico will just pass him by. That he's ready for the El Clásico. That was one of the major reasons. In short, 90% reasons of him signing for Barcelona.
But talk is cheap, hope you know.
Yeah, I know, talk is cheap. My dear Water said something.
Yeah.
Yes, that Lewandowski is not going to be in that match. Rafinha is not going to be in that match. But we have Rashford.
There's Rashford.
There's Rashford.
Felix.
Exactly.
There's
other guys.
There's one certain young boy.
Those young boys. Yamal is there. So these guys are there. It's not about Lewandowski and Raf. Yes, I know Rafinha and Lewandowski. These are top.
But you will not take the quality of these guys. I just
yes. You see, Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, Bellingham, and the rest of them. I must tell you the truth. They are shaky right now. You understand? When it comes to the El Clásico, you remember last season, 4 games, they could not even take a draw.
But they are under a new manager now, and should I say a rebrand?
Lionel Messi has placed a standard. He has dropped a standard in that Barcelona in terms of El Clásico. Yes, no disrespect to Cristiano Ronaldo. No disrespect to him, but Lionel Messi has dropped a standard when it comes to El Clásico. And I can bet you they're already on that same standard. And that's why you see, even for last season, 4 times they met, they could not even do anything. Barcelona was just up there. So why do you think on Sunday the table will turn around? Why do you think so?
Okay, let me go back to Walter.
It's a done deal.
Okay, Walter, let me come back to you, Walter. You know, El Clásico is not just an ordinary game. Even if both teams are not in good forms, but when they come to El Clásico, exactly. you see the fireworks from both sides, and it's like a bragging right. And also, even if I can bring your mind back again to England, you see the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City. They might not be playing so well in the league, but when it comes to that City, yes. Manchester derby, you know that the two teams will also come fireworks. If you also recall, you remember when Manchester performed poorly. Is it last season or last 2 seasons against Eric Ten Hag? And when they got to FA Cup finals against Manchester City, they won that game. It was in fact, nobody even gave Manchester United a chance. Don't you think same permutation might play out in this El Clásico? And considering the fact that arguably both teams are playing well, there's no 2 ways about it.
It's a derby game. It's always a tough game. I get where Barcelona fans are coming from. I guess where their confidence is coming from. But trust me, derby games are actually tough games, and you would be overconfident to write your opponent off in derby games. I have seen dead Manchester United teams, go out and win the Manchester derby, or go out and win games against Liverpool, against
Chelsea,
traditional rivals in England. So, and I have seen Real Madrid and Barcelona, even in the Clásico. I have seen when Barcelona were not in form and they humiliated Madrid, vice versa. And I've seen when Madrid were not in form, they humiliated Barcelona. So the Clásico is not a game whereby you can easily predict. But I am not surprised that Barcelona fans or Barcelona think they have the upper edge over Real Madrid, because after what they did to Real Madrid last season, and I think it was total domination. 4 games, 4 victories. You are right if you decide to be confident, but no one don't write Real Madrid off. You don't think it's going to be an easy game. It's a derby game. It's a Clásico, the biggest football match in the whole world. And I expect for sure Real Madrid to give it its 100%, and I expect Barcelona to give it its 100%. Of course, Barcelona are favourites, but I am just, because of the 2 missing players, Lewandowski and Rafinha. I am going to be very, very cautious, because to be honest with you, I don't really believe in Madrid. Yes, they've won their games this season. They've won against teams that I think they should win. They've not won any game that I think they should not win. The only game I felt, it will be tough for them. They might not be able to win. They ended up losing, massively. They lost that game to Atletico Madrid 5-1. So
5-2.
It's part of football. It's a step, and I really want to see that game on Sunday. I want to see how Madrid have grown. It's an exam, like I said earlier. It's going to be an exam for Xabi Alonso. An exam that he cannot afford to fail, because if he does fail, forget all the results he has been getting, forget the results he will get from now to the next Clásico or the next Madrid derby. Is going to be heavily scrutinized on those 2 performers against Tico and against Barcelona on Sunday.
Well, you said it all, and I think, of course, on Monday you are going to come back and we're going to talk about this El Clásico on Monday, hopefully on this show. But before we wrap up this segment, don't you think a coach like Xavi Alonso has really done so well for himself, and with his quality and pedigree, bringing that this into Real Madrid setup? I think Real Madrid is not like the team now. It's not looking like the Carlo Ancelotti's team last season. I don't know if you agree with me.
Of course, yes. yes. If you really look at, if you want to take a statistics of Ancelotti's Real Madrid and of last season
and
Xavi's Real Madrid, definitely you will see the difference. The difference is clearly out there. So now that tells me that it is not even the players. It is the level of accessibility and the level of quality of the coaches that is impacting on this Real Madrid team. Because the Real Madrid of Alonso is the same Real Madrid of Atletico of what's his name, Ancelotti. It's the same Real Madrid. You understand what I'm saying? This is the Real Madrid of Ancelotti that parades the lights of Bellingham, that parades the lights of Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, and Rodrigo. The same Real Madrid of Alonso. So if you look at it well, it's the coaching, the level of coaching. It's not out there.
Well said. I think let's just see we're running out of time. We'll have to run. So I want to thank you so much before we go to the next segment. Thank you so much for your analysis as always on this show. Thank you so much. We'll be going on a short break. And when we return, of course, we'll be talking about the National Division 2 that is starting today in Edo State. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's P&B Sports right here in Abuja, and of course, I'm still with CJ. That's your nickname. Christian Osageda. Welcome again. Let's quickly go around. I think we'll have like 5 minutes more to leave the studio. Let's quickly touch on D2, National D2 that is kickstarting today in Edo State. And we'll have teams like Believe Basketball, Pakis Warriors, TNT, Titans, Rising Star, Edo Discover, we'll have Favor Arena, we'll have Heartland, Federal Polytechnic, Abia, Eclipse, and Leaders Basketball Academy. Those are the 12 teams that's looking to start today and to end on the 28th or so. That is next week. With all this, and we are seeing Musa Kida's era or administration, he does okay. One of his campaign or his promises, he said he's going to deal with the grassroots. But so far so good. Do you think he has been able to achieve that? Because to be honest, before now, we don't know anything like D1 or D2, sorry. We only know of D1, and it's not that effective. But since he came in, I think the D1 and D2 has been, if we want to be sincere, it has been going, except last year. Except last year, because I know 2023 there was D1, and there was D2. So it has been going like that simultaneously. But how can you score Musa Kida in terms of grassroots?
Yeah, for Musa Kida, he has really done well in terms of grassroots basketball development in Nigeria. He has done very, very well, and I will say kudos to him, because the truth is that when you don't bring these young lads, up, definitely the future will suffer. And he has done well. For him to see that D2 is functional and D1 is also functional in Nigerian basketball, I would say 100% for him. He has done fantastically very well. I'm surprised, these are the things that we need to always see happening. And he has actually done what the people wanted. So for me, I will give him 100%.
Okay, that's it. Let's go to the games. So this one that slugging it out, they'll start from today. We'll have 12 teams, and I think it's 2 to qualify.
Yes.
But with all these things, with these teams here, I don't know which one do you think, or what do you think we're going to expect?
Yeah. Those 12 teams that I'm looking out there, those are very strong 12 teams from the grassroots. But I want to look at Edo Discover.
Okay.
Edo Discover, definitely, I believe, with their quality,
they could scale through.
Yeah, they might even win the Division 2 title, because Edo Discover is a very, very strong team. I know what I'm saying. It's a strong team. They also participated in this last 51 Alliance Cup in Port Harcourt. I was privileged to also take my team there, and they actually came out second.
But one thing with this team is the team that they put up in that 51 Alliance Cup. Yes. 51 Alliance
basketball
Cup.
Yes.
You know that most of those players might not play in this D2. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Most of those players might not play in this D2. The likes of Delina, the likes of Alex, the likes of Benedict, the likes of who again? I think they are not going to play in this D2. So I don't know. Do you think taking Alex off that team, it kind of paralyzed it a little bit, or rather, should I say, kind of weaken the team a little?
I want to also give credit to Coach Kenny, because he knows what he's doing, and I believe he also has a pattern of which he has have inculcated into this basketball team of that he's actually coaching. So irrespective of those guys that are going to be out of those teams, I believe he knows the people. Based on his kind of pattern of basketball that he's playing, he knows the people that he's going to invite into the team to still deliver that same pattern. But don't forget, the likes of Xavier is still there.
Yeah, Xavier is there.
Don't forget the likes of Xavier is still there.
If you say teams like Favor Arena that is like already they are very familiar with this because they've been there since 2000 after the pandemic.
Yes.
They've been there.
They've been there.
So they are not a newcomer in D2. So the teams like Favor Arena, don't you think they are going to also give a good fight to the Edo? Of course, because
Edo
Discover.
Yeah, like Favor Arena now, they've been in that D2 division for close to 4 seasons, trying to slug it out and come into D1. So that has given them that experience. That has also given them that capacity. You understand? They understand the league. They understand that division very well, because they've been there playing for close to 3-4 seasons now. So it's also going to be a good fight, that they will give to Edo Discover. It's going to I just really want to watch. I want to see that fight, because anybody can pick it up. But the reason why you see I'm still taking out Discover is because of how they've been playing for a very long time, and I know their pattern of play. Coming out second in that 51 Alliance Cup.
Yeah, it's not
a small thing. And Coach Kenny has done well. He has done very well, and this team are still together. Are still very much together. So bringing that same energy, you understand, into the Division 2 will really go a long way for them.
Well, we've said it all, and I think at this point we have to draw a curtain, because we don't have time, no time anymore to continue. Maybe by Monday, hopefully, we're going to follow up on these games and what is going on in those states, and also the El Clásico. We're also going to thank you very much for coming to the studio, Mr. Christian Osaigede. Thank you so much. And of course, you promised us that you're going to be here on Monday.
On Monday I'll be here.
Yes, we're expecting you this morning.
Of course, on Monday.
All right, that's the size of our show this morning. You can connect with us on all social media platforms, on YouTube and Facebook at Politics and Business TV.English. Then on IG at P&B TV_English. On X at P&B TV_ENG. I'm Abel Sunday, and from me and the entire team right here in Abuja, I say goodbye.